Hey, what's up? I'm Zoe. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to be going through my updated Notion. At first I wanted this to be like, let's do it together, let's redo my Notion with me. But it didn't really work out that way because Notion spreads take a while. Like, it's a lot of brainstorming, and I love how it continually changes, but also continually shows me why I really do enjoy digital planning, because then I can change everything whenever I want and I don't have to feel like I have to buy a new planner or I wasted pages.
It is voiceover Zoe, ready to give you the lowdown on what was originally happening with this video. It's how my homepage was originally looking. Very kind of minimal, crystal kind of, I think was the vibe. And this time I want to go for something a little fresher, something that makes me feel like I have just walked out on the perfect day. And it's going to be based in green. So I was thinking that this was going to be easy, but as I said before, this is a lot of thinking that goes into this. A lot of looking around on Pinterest for different inspos and trying to figure out what style I'm really vibing with or what I want to try out this time. I'm moving around a lot of the links that I already had on this page that I knew I wanted to keep having on here going forward. So I'm like clicking around trying to figure out how I want the links, how I want them ordered, and figuring out this portion. I hate whenever I feel like I don't have enough links for a certain area because then I have to come up with shit. And this is me coming up with shit. This is me adding some of the pictures that I've been collecting over the past few weeks in preparation for this, and then looking back at some of the other layouts just to get an idea of what I wanted for spacing or anything like that. But you know, even though I was working on this for a very long time, I still feel like at the end of this I had no idea what I was doing. And then I kind of wanted to try something that I had never been a fan of before, which is doing the weekly little to-do list thing. Yeah, that's me doing it here, and this is about as far as I got because my head hurt.
Now that all of that is covered, let's get into how my Notion spread looks now. Some of these pages are literally ones that I have shown before, especially for my library spread. So I will link my previous videos somewhere so that you can go check those out if you want to see that, or you want to get the templates, because I have the templates on those. I think this is one of my favorite home spreads. I love the green. I love the fairy vibes. I just feel like it just feels like a fresh day. All of the headers that I use on my Notion spreads I get from the little unsplash option. I really love headers that are more like this, where they're not really like centrally focused on something. This main part is so crazy that I even have this on here, because I always hated the setup. I know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hated the setup of having your full weekly like plan and layout on the main page. Yet here I am with the full week on my home page, and it is the best decision that I ever made ever for my Notion. I decided to put all of my like outside links at the top, and I have like this little, quote. This is progress over perfection. And then I have my habits, my temperature blanket, content, library, watch list, collecting, my obsessions, and for me. Now habits, unfortunately, I have had the bad habit of not keeping up with this at all throughout the whole year. As you can see, March is the last time that I made an attempt to make a spread for it, and I didn't even start it. But pretty much I would come in every single day. As you can imagine, a habits checklist would be copy whatever the like emoji is, and then I would paste it. I liked it because I thought the emojis were really cute. Next is my temperature blanket. This is my year-long project that I am doing. I wanted to get better at crocheting. Clearly I am very behind on this. As you can see, I have not completed many rows, but I also just ran out of yarn, so I can't continue until I do that. If I were to do a temperature blanket again, I probably would make it a lot smaller. Mistakes were made, but you know, what can I do? besides just learn from it and do better next time. Next we have my collecting page. This page is like kind of like a dream I have, to be able to keep up with my collections and make it make sense. One day I will dedicate to actually making this spread look amazing. You want to know what spread does look amazing on this page? This is how I decided to spread out my Spidey pops and all of the ones that I really want to get and the ones that I have. Obviously there's still a lot more that I want to add to this list, but for the days that I was working on this, this is kind of what I was eyeing more. This is my one for Wanda and T'Challa, and I still have quite a few Wanda pops that I really want to get eventually. I really just like this spread, and I think it works out really well for collecting the Funkos. My Obsessions is such a fun page. I was watching someone's Notion spread tour, and they had a page very similar to this, and I just thought that was so freaking fun. And originally I wasn't going to continue doing that in 2023, but then I was looking through the one that I had in 2022, and I looked at something randomly from like March or something, and it was just so funny because I was really obsessed with finding a disco ball to have in my room, and I completely forgot about that whole phase where everyone was buying disco balls and they were using it as room decor. Do you remember that era? Like, I never found a disco ball, which is unfortunate. For example, let's look at what I was obsessed with in January. So I was really obsessed with my Stanley Cup that I got for Christmas, and I have her right here. She's very beautiful and she's blue, and I have this little cloud here that covers the straw, which is so cute, and it's like a little smiley, and so then whenever I look down at it, I'm just so happy. Posting TikToks every single day. I did so well at the beginning of the year. Kill Bill by SZA, of course. I actually got one of those little Spotify like listener plaques when when I came on, because I was like one of the first % to listen to Kill Bill, and it made the Billions Club. Yeah, it was that serious for me. I have another checklist that kind of looks over quarter 3. So I had one for quarter 1, quarter 2. They're just things that I want to get done in the 3 months time that is that quarter. And last is the calendar, so that I can keep up with music releases, movie releases, TV show releases, book releases, all of that good stuff. Now we're on my content page. This is how I keep up with all of my videos and things that I use for YouTube, videos that I need to film, and then videos that I need to edit. And then I have Romanticize Your Life, because I think a lot of times whenever I'm doing videos or I'm doing vlogs or something like that, I always feel like I'm so boring. And like even this video, why does anyone care about my Notion spread? Care about my Notion spreads. Yeah, those are YouTube plaques. I realize that I'm probably nowhere near a YouTube plaque right now, obviously, but it's still fun to have it there as like a motivation. A big calendar, which is how I keep organized with all of the videos that I am filming or planning to film. Library page, and I love this page so much. It is so cute. I love the colors. It's so vibrant. It really makes me want to come to the page. Before, my spread was blue, and even though I do think my spread was beautiful and I loved it, blue is not even in my top 5 favorite colors. So I really wasn't excited to go to that page every single time, but I just thought that it still looked very beautiful, so I kept it. And this one is a lot more my vibe. I love bright colors. I love the vibrancy, and it just makes me really happy every single time I come on here. So, you know, I'm all for it. And then I have my bookshelf right here. My bookshelf is exactly the same as it has always been. Title, the author, the status of the book, like if I started it, DNF'd it, if I'm reading it, and then the dates that I was reading the book, the rating that I gave the book, and then the number of pages that the book has. Beside the post, it's a lot more detailed with a lot more of the different things I want to track personally for a book. And then we have the summary of the book, and then I have a photo of the book cover, and then I can put all of my thoughts off to the side. And because it's Notion, I have so much room, I can write as much as I want and all of that. Next is my anticipated reads spread. This is what I did at the beginning of the year, and it's just all of the books that I was really looking forward to. I pretty much track the same exact things. This one I actually filled out, so I do need to go and copy and paste this stuff, but yeah, I just put all of my thoughts and feels on this book, And then because I loved it so much, I put some pictures that I got off of Pinterest for this story. Always like to add a various reading challenge to my page because I think they're fun. This year I just kind of just Googled one and I went with it. This one is from Pop Sugar. I don't know, but I am breezing through it and I'm really proud of that. At the beginning of this year, I also had a challenge to myself to read a classic every single month. As you can see, I fell off. I stopped after April, but hopefully I can get back on track and I can start doing that again. There's really no reason to the classics that I pick. It's just kind of like which one kind of crossed my radar at that time. I don't really like plan it, so it's just there. It is what it is. I don't even know what book this is. Is this Love in Other Words or something? I don't really know what it is, but it's really cute, and so I just put it there like a monthly check. The rest of these index pages are ones that I already had before. I decided to add this cool little drop down TBR for if I'm just like on here la 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 and then I'm like, hey, I really feel like reading a romance. These are some of the books that are actually on my physical TBR. The last thing that I have on my library spread is probably my favorite part of this layout. I'm going to be so real with you. My top 14. I got the idea from MySpace because I was thinking about the fact that we like had top friends on MySpace and how big of a deal it was your placement on someone's top, or if you were featured on someone's top at all, or if you got kicked out of someone's top. It was such a big deal. These are like my top 14 books of the year so far, and if I reach my 14 then I'm like, oh my god, then I'll move down and I'll have like a top 21. I don't know, we'll see how the second half of the year goes. But yeah, so some of these I feel like I am more about than others, but this list, oh my gosh, like if you asked me off the top of my head, I don't think I would have thought of all of these, but being able to constantly see it, I love it. I love it so much. And I can move them around and I can change the order as they go. Like my #1 book was not there before and now it's there. Like it's not like it's on a piece of paper and I wrote it in pen and then I would have to change the whole thing or draw arrows to change it. No, this I can change constantly throughout the year and I just love it, and your spot is not safe in the top 14, okay? So yeah, I really love it. It's really fun for me, even though it would be really cool if I could get to 23.
Now my watch list. Okay, so I love this page and then I hate this page. I go back and forth with it. This is where I keep all of my movies and TV shows that I want to watch of all different countries, genres, like it's all here. I try and keep it organized. It's also some of these pages that I revamped, so when I showed some of them to you, obviously they're going to look like you haven't done anything, but I've gone through quite a few different layouts. Some of them I loved, some of them I didn't, and so obviously they aren't here anymore if I didn't love them, and a lot of them I didn't love, so I'm still trying to figure out the best way to make this page work for me. But I love the idea because sometimes I go through phases where I'm super into Letterboxd and serialized, but then there are times where I'm like, I forgot to update them somehow. I don't know how that happens. But anyways, I have a lot of lists here, like my favorite actors, animated shows, movies, shows, rewatch lists, Star Wars, master lists. Like it's a lot. But of course, Pride and Prejudice 2005 is holding me down. Yes.
So then I do have a master list. It's not completely completed. I haven't gone through and like finished like animated shows or movies that I really want to watch or any rewatches that I really want to do. But I do have a very long list of TV shows and movies. I'll show you the shows one because this one is pretty nice. I like how simple this is. I just have the title of the show, I have the platform that it's on, and then I have where I left off, season and episode, and then I have progress, whether I'm watching it or I dropped it or if I finished it. And then the rating of the current season that I got to, and then I give like more detail on the side when I watched it from. And I know you're looking at Ted Lasso and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't like Ted Lasso? But I just didn't love it. I hated the way that the second season started. I thought it was just a very weird note to start on, especially focusing on one of your players of color. Like, it just seemed like a very odd thing to start the season with, and it just felt like the tone never got back to what I thought it would be. I actually made it to episode 5, so I should change that. I have this one for Star Wars because I really want to watch Star Wars, and I haven't started on it yet. But I really do like long forms of like series like that. I think that's part of why I like the MCU, and I love to rewatch it so many times because it's so long. There's so many characters, there's so much world building. Star Wars is also long. It's been going on since well before I was born. I watched The Mandalorian season 1, I loved it. And I started season 2, didn't finish it. I watched the most recent trilogy of movies, the one with John Boyega in it, and like Oscar Isaac. I watched that trilogy of movies, hated it with a passion. Hated every second of being in that movie. Like, each one just was worse than the first one. If you loved it, I am so happy that you loved it. But keep in mind, I am not a Star Wars girl. Okay, that was my first introduction to Star Wars, period. I knew pop culture references, don't get me wrong, but like the insides and outs, I had never watched a Star Wars movie before that, and that probably was not the best place to start with that first movie. I really hope that you liked this Notion spread. Maybe some of these layouts inspired you, but that's everything. So once again, I really hope that you enjoyed, and I hope it's inspiring, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. What can I do when I'm